Does the Grand Canyon lead to Africa? Somebody wrote that in the comment section, is what they did. And I thought, well, I've not heard that before, and I haven't, if the Grand Canyon leads to Africa. But you know what? They have similar landscapes. They do. Similar peaks. Why? Why is that? Why is that? We got Africa over here. We got the Grand Canyon right here. And they found like Egyptian artifacts and stuff in there before. So it's something that could be quite plausible and with some truth in it. It's really wild. If you didn't hear about that before, I hope you can hear me. I've got my cell phone's about dead. I'm going to see if I can, if I'm going to do it. Gina, honey, you going to do it? Yep. I am. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to turn myself up. And I'm going to see if you all can hear me about does the Grand Canyon lead to Africa? You can't walk in it. It's protected property. It is. Every single bit of it, more or less. And you can't tour it like you want to tour it. Hello, Applebrooks, honey. Hello, Frank. Hello, everyone. If you are just tuning in, Rosie, honey, what are you doing up here? I thought I shut that door, Rosie, but you are up here. Hello, Debbie. Yes. Hello there. Worship the real Father, Ahaya, daughter of Zion. I'm trying to. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, you can hear me. It's perfect. Okay, I got it. I got it. Rosie. Rosie, honey, come over here and say hello. We got to get you to say hello, Rosie. Come on, honey. You're a little baby. Come on, Rosie. You got to get on the live stream with me. Come on, Rosie. Look at Rosie. Isn't she pretty? Rosie, just be careful as you're walking on the live stream. She says, I don't even want to walk up here. Leave me alone. Rosie, honey, you came up here. She did, you all. You got to watch out for Rosie. I'm going to scoot this over here. You got to watch her because she will jump up on this stuff. She'll jump all over. She'll walk all over everything, walk on the keyboard. She could disconnect me, but that's okay. Rosie, honey, you can do it if you want to. So, look at this. The Forbidden Zone. The Forbidden Zone of the Grand Canyon legend, landmarks, and lies. Why would they say lies? The lost civilization in the Grand Canyon was it Egyptian? You can get to Africa from the Grand Canyon. Can you really get to Africa from the Grand Canyon? The path of Africa through the Grand Canyon, you all look at this. What if it is true? What if it is true? What if you can get to Africa from the Grand Canyon? Well, I don't know if that's Africa right there. It doesn't look like Africa. It doesn't. Rosie, Rosie's laying down on the ground. And she's behind me, just cleaning her paws. Rosie, honey, what you doing there, honey? Let's see if I can get you in here, Rosie. Let me see if I can see Rosie, if you can see Rosie down here. No, my camera's not going to go that far. Let me see. Rosie, can I get you on here? I'm like kind of tied on here. Rosie, honey, where are you down there? I can't get Rosie on here. Oh, well, I don't have a long enough string on my stream deck, but that's okay. She's fine. Let's get to the Grand Canyon. Can you get to the Grand Canyon? The path through Africa through the Grand Canyon. Let's see some pictures of it. I've already got some of the pictures pulled up right here. And you can see some of the hiking trails. The Native people's culturally significant areas. You got some people there. The Grand Canyon National Park. The Kaibab National Forest. I want to see something. Look how pretty that looks. So this is the Grand Canyon. What's that? Fish River Canyon, the Grand Canyon of Africa. Doesn't it make you wonder? Has anyone else's internet been slow? Even though you got high-speed internet, you got like fiber optic or something. Looks like a tree got cut down right here. It does. They just like did their lasers and they leveled the Grand Canyon. This is in Africa. Kind of just like the Grand Canyon. Let's read those stories on it. You just tuning in. Let's look at this. The Forbidden Zone. It is forbidden. You can't touch it. Do not touch the forbidden. Look at this, you all, so we can see it. Rosie, honey, you're cleaning your toenails. She is. You look at the spirits coming down from here. You all, that looks like a. Look at that photo. It looks like a ship with lightning coming from it. It really does, albeit like an interdimensional ship. Like, look at all of that. Look over here. It kind of does look like something like that. Your phone won't even charge right now because it's too hot in your apartment. Penny, I believe you. Stick it in the freezer. I know you don't want to stick your head in the freezer, but stick your phone in the freezer to kind of cool it off. But then your freezer's going to get cold. No. Take some vegetables. Take something out of the freezer, Penny, honey. Listen to me. Take something frozen out of your freezer. Put your phone on the ice. Put your phone on the frozen vegetables. Anything's in there, and charge your phone so you can watch this video. You can do it, Penny. You really can. Do it. You got your Penny, we're going to help you out because you need to watch this. That's if anybody else is having trouble. You want to your phone won't heat. Well, this is a thing. This is, where is this at? The Forbidden Zone of the Grand Canyon, the legends, the landmarks, and the lies. Gina, they don't lie. Well, we want to hear about this. It's some kind of a controversy in the last. Oh, Rosie's so sweet. In the last decade or so, the controversies and the wild speculations have swirled online about the Grand Canyon National Park. And it was published by the Arizona Gazette in April the 5th of 1909. Yeah. It read, the explorations of the Grand Canyon, the mysteries of the immense rich cavern being brought to light. Jordan enthused, remarkable finds indicate ancient people migrated from the Orient. The Grand Canyon controversy is revealing many ways and is also disturbing in many ways. Penny, you got the frozen vegetables. Penny, you let us know if you got your phone there. Just put a barrier between it to see if that is going to charge your phone for you, because we want to know. We got to figure out the ways to keep our phone charged when the house is hot. That's right. You can do it. Even if you have to stand up by the counter, you can do it. The Grand Canyon. Okay, we're talking about the Grand Canyon, you all. The article explains that an explorer named G.E. Kincaid, that sounds like Thomas Kincaid, it really does, has made the initial discovery and was joined by the Smithsonian, but he shouldn't have did it, the Smithsonian scientist S.A. Jordan, to study what was described as a wondrous labyrinthian honeycomb of man-made tunnels filled with seemingly Eastern treasures of golden urns, sophisticated copper tools, ancient artifacts, hieroglyphs, and mummified remains and statues whose iconography resemble those common to the Hindu or Egyptian cultures. If their theories are born out of the tablets engraved with the hieroglyphs, the mystery of the prehistoric peoples of North America, their ancient arts, who were and whence they came, will be solved. Egypt and the Nile and Arizona and the Colorado will be linked to a historical chain running back to ages which stagger the wildest fancy of the fictionists. I wonder, the temperature in Arizona right now, and wherever that Grand Canyon is located, I wonder if the temperature in Africa, if it's like in the same area, like they say, I wonder if the temperatures match. I really do. Well, we know that they can make it rain in certain spots and things like that. Penny, is your phone working? Is it? Okay, let's see what else they got to going on. I hope that this ain't the end of it. Oh, was the 1909 Grand Canyon article a fabrication? Modern day skeptical writers, academics from the Smithsonian claim the story was simply a piece of sensational yellow journalism. Yes, that's perfect, you all. Now you know how to get your phone to charge. If it's hot, you just get your bag of frozen vegetables out and you can cool your phone off enough to charge it. That's perfect. So look, the Smithsonian. declined publicly the story outright over 100 years later. It denied any records verifying the existence of Kincaid. The story also asserts that the Smithsonian archaeologist, he returned to Kincaid to investigate the site, and there's no records that confirm the existence of Kincaid or Jordan, you all. Well, I want to see some pictures. Oh, look at that. The Canyon Tomb. Is there actually a secret Egyptian tomb in the Grand Canyon? Well, there probably is. Alternate researchers clamor online. The Forbidden Zone with the Grand Canyon National Park completely forbids anyone to hike, camp, or explore there. They also point out the curious names of the landmarks in this off-limit area. It's the shadow branches of the federal government. They secretly monitor the whole entire area with their drones, is what they do. In the more extremist alternative factions, this is only the tip of the proverbial iceberg as they expand the scope of a complex conspiracy of the subterranean reptilian overlords who are manipulating the ruling elite class. Well, skeptical position is heavily fortified behind the obtuse walls of authority and plausibility, easily defended against one lonesome article published over a century ago. And it's that thing. They say that we have a conflict of interest regarding the manipulation of human history narrative. This is especially true when it comes to the U.S. government and the elevation of indigenous cultures in the early 20th century. What was it? The landmark name suggests there's a bigger truth. It's an undisputed fact. A large grouping of promontories with curious images, high points, summits in the haunted canyon Trinity Creek, included geological formations of Osiris, Isis, Shiva, Horus temples, the Tower of Set, the pyramids of Ra, and Cheops, and all legendary figures of ancient Egypt, India, respectively. Look at that. The Shiva temple, the Tower of Ra. How could they do that? How could did they just destroy it? The stuff? They could have just destroyed it. Rosie, honey, you still sitting down there? Oh, Rosie, honey, she's taking a nap, you all. She really is. She's so tired. Rosie is. She's a little baby. That's okay, Rosie. I can't get the camera to you, but you're having fun up here on a nice green screen floor. That's right. Look. It's worth noting that was this Google Maps? Let's find the Shiva temple. Shall we go to Shiva Maps? We can go to Google Maps and find the Shiva temple in the Grand Canyon, and we can find the Tower of Ra. The Shiva Maps. I want to find the Tower of Ra in the Grand Canyon. I've got to find the Google Maps and quit talking. Let's see if we can find the Google Earth, and find Shiva Ra. No, the Temple of Ra in the Grand Canyon. Let's see, the Temple of Ra. It won't even pull up. Temple of Ra in the Grand Canyon. See if we can find it. What are we going over here for? We're going to this monastery. This is a medieval mountainside in somewhere. I don't want it to go to the monastery. That doesn't look like the Temple of Ra. Oh, I said the Temple of Ta. Gina, it's Ra, not Ta. Well, now you know, my silent army. There is a such thing as called the Temple of Ta. Now we want to try the Ra. Let's move over here. We want to try to find the Tower of Ra. Where is it located, you all? Did they go over there to the Grand Canyon? Is that where they went? To the Grand Canyon? I want to see if they made their way over there. They sure did. They made their way to the Grand Canyon. The Tower of Ra. Let's see what the Grand Canyon looks like. Okay, it looks kind of like a snake. But these are the maps that they tell us how many people are able to go up there and actually look down and see the Tower of Ra. I like to see it. I hope it's a landmark. There's no way you can hike to it. It's forbidden. Let's see if we can get to the Tower of Ra. Well, I don't see a single thing. I have to exit the ground level. You can't even see it. What was the other? Something about Shiva in the Grand Canyon. Let's see what it said. Shiva Temple in the Grand Canyon. Let's see if we can find Shiva Temple. Okay, let's try it. Shiva Temple. Okay, we're gonna try to go there. Oh, okay, let's do it. Oh, look at us, you all. We're doing it. There's the Temple of Shiva in the Grand Canyon. But everything is just rocks. You think it's like down here somewhere? The Temple of Shiva? We can't even see anything, but how come they named it that? Well, that's the Grand Canyon. I'm sure there's all kinds of things in there. I really am evolving Sylvia. That's a good question. Who named this? Well, I don't know who named it. I don't, but somebody named it. And somebody has a theory that the Grand Canyon will lead you to Africa, which is kind of interesting. It is. Let's see if we can come over here. Oh, okay. Look, as we got some, apparently, Powell's expedition. It experienced a series of disasters, this guy, and resulted in many of his notes being lost, but it's reasonable to conclude that it was he who gave the names of these landmarks. Curious indeed. So we got these men right here. John Wesley Powell in the Grand Canyon, right there, you all, gave them the names. The Forbidden Zone in the Grand Canyon, and the law. If you, Gina, what are you doing? We're looking at the Grand Canyon, and it's like as you can walk to Africa from the Grand Canyon. That's what they say. Yeah, it would seem that the anonymous author of the article, they were back to 1909. It's challenging when confronted with the next step in research, which validates the claim that this very section of the park is forbidden to explore. The following geographical areas and roads in the Grand Canyon National Park are closed to the public and are restricted by specific activities or specific times for specific activity. Let's see the Hopi Fire Tower and Access Road. Let's go to the Hopi Fire Tower Access Road. And why is it forbidden? We can do it. Let's just check it out. We couldn't understand this location. Okay, well, let me just say Grand Canyon. Okay, we're going to go to something. No, see, they did something else. No, I didn't want that. I wanted, I guess it's in Arizona. I don't even know where it's at. Let me do the Hopi Fire Tower. Smile. There. Oh, let's look at this. We're not going to be able to find it. They don't want you to find it. Okay, we might find it. Okay, here's Hopi Point. Okay, it's a high point, but you can't go near it. We have a Horn Creek camp. We have a Monument Creek. We have the Colorado River. We have a granite camp. You can camp on the granite. It's probably really hot there right now. And you got the Shiva Temple. Let's read this article, you all. If you're just tuning in, you can walk from the Grand Canyon to Africa, but you can't because it's all forbidden. You can't go there no more. You can't. Wonder if you ever did. The Maricopa. Hey, that reminds me of the Maricopa sheriff who would feed his prisoners bread with mold on it and bologna with mold on it. And they wore pink striped suits or something like that. The Maricopa Point endangered plant. The Hopi salt mines. What are the Hopi salt mines? Which extends from the river mile 62 to the river mile 62.5 on the southeast side of the Colorado River. And it's precisely where the aforementioned landmarks are located. The south of Hance Rapids. Let's see the Hopi salt mines. We want to see what they look like. Hopi salt mines. Because they are salt mines all over the world. All over the world. It's a sacred. Do they got something in this? Oh, it looks really pretty. I've been there. Oh, no, this is prints. No, we gotta look at the images, see what the Hopi salt mines look like. Oh wow, like just like this. A red rock art. They got some red rock art. So it's not Red Rock Canyon. It does kind of look like Africa. How would you know that you're not even in Africa? This is to Lake Mead. The place of emergence, expedition to Saipan. I don't even know where that's at. Gina, can you please get on with what you were studying and you quit go looking at this other stuff? Yeah, I can do it. I will do it. It's important to keep in mind the mines are not active mining operations. There's a monstrous text that goes on to discreetly command that nobody is permitted to enter any cave or any mine at the park at any time ever without a permit, which they will never be granted. In addition to artificial anthropogenetic features, the mine works, which comprise a twilight zone and a zone of perpetual darkness, will be managed as caves per the Federal Cave Resources Protection Acts of 1988. And they got a permit that was required to satisfy the section. It may be applied to background country permits. You ain't going to go nowhere where they don't want you to go. So restricted areas were suspicious. Legislation in 1987 restricts the airspace over the Grand Canyon. That's like Area 51. Along with two other national parks, you cannot fly over Yosemite and Haleakala. That must be in Hawaii. To provide substantial restoration of the natural quiet and experience of the park and protection of the public health and safety from adverse effects associated with aircraft overflight, if you're just tuning in. So what on earth are they blathering about? Restoration of natural quiet, the experience of the park and public health safety. The noise is legitimate. Look, these three parks have some other elements in common as well. They're all sites of primordial geologic upheaval, volcanic remnants, karst earth deposits, vast unearthed cave systems, and native lore that revolves around the lost races of the hominins, the demigods, and the deities that were responsible for creation. I've never heard of the hominins. Reminds me of hominy. I don't like hominy, but I ate it. What are the hominins, you all? We wouldn't find out what the hominins are. Okay, there they are right there. The hominins. Okay, they don't want you to go there because of the hominins. It's off limit. No drone. You can't even fly your drone there. Forbidden zones. You can't go to the Mesa Verde, Four Corners, Mummy Cave, and the canyons of the ancient national monuments abandoned. Look at this right here. Stanton's Cave is located South Canyon Camping Beach, but not within the forbidden zone. The cave was originally believed by the authorities to be man-made. It's sealed with metal bars to prevent re-entry. The ceiling of the cave cavity is vaulted, and it does not resemble a natural feature. It's also known that this cavity was inhabited in the distant past, and many precious artifacts were removed. The Mummy Cave in the Grand Canyon, they got a Mummy Cave, 40 to 700 feet, whereas the main dining hall, people lived with no problem. Upwards of 50,000 people could have lived in the caverns comfortably. If you're just tuning in, it looks like two big eyeballs looking at you right there. Canyon de Chile, Canyon de Muerto, Canyon of the Dead. Remains of 14 infants were found in the slab-lined cyst used earlier as a storage bin. Below the infants were other children packed in an enormous basket. It looked like great big gigantic eyes. Mummy caves, legacies, and liars, you all. There was a study of the decay of races through the survival of the unfit. 1899. Let's see this. Jordan served as president of Stanford University and was a fervent believer in eugenics. Jordan's primitive pseudoscience and xenophobic paranoia led him to write an essay of the study of the decay of races through the survival of the unfit. Well, I don't think that's very nice. It's back in 1899. He illustrated his irrationality regarding the race degeneration and implored the effectuation of tremendous efforts designed to maintain the racial unity. He also, it was Jordan who led a nationwide sterilization program, which clearly was a crime against humanity. In 2003, many buildings in California were shamefully stripped of his name, and the California legislature unanimously expressed its profound regret over the state's past role in the eugenics movement. I've heard of people, my mother told me about people who were sterilized against their will. Yeah. Lots of people who were. The Smithsonian, look at this. Thanks a lot for doing what you did. Through the Looking Glass. It's the Smithsonian has been less than forthcoming about its affiliation. Unlocking a Mystery. So this is one, but I don't really like that one right there. That don't have no good pictures to it, you all. It doesn't. If you're just tuning in, I'm up here. And Rosie's on the floor behind me, sleeping. I would like to see some pictures, but there aren't any pictures. So let's see if we can find some ancient artifacts. Egyptian artifacts. Let's do this. EGYPTIAN artifacts. Grand Canyon. We want to look at them if they have anything to look at. Oh, no, I can't go to somebody's YouTube channel. That's their YouTube channel. I can't do it. I can't take their stuff. I won't do it either. It's loading really slow. Okay. Where was this found at? I guess maybe some of this was found in the Grand Canyon, you think? We've got that. Well, let me make this really big and we can just scroll over it. If I make it really big, we can just move the screen right there. That's right. We got some artifacts right there in the Grand Canyon. The Egyptian tomb in the Grand Canyon. What's it doing there? Looks like it's got something nice in there. The Egyptian lost city discovered in the Grand Canyon. Let's bring it down a little. I can't read that. Egyptian artifacts. That's kind of inappropriate. I don't like to see the inappropriateness. I don't. I'm going to go right past that inappropriateness. The ancient artifacts. Do you think that was in the Grand Canyon? No, that's Egypt, Gina, honey. Okay, here's some artifacts right here. I did skip an ancient picture. I know I did. Look at these. They look like urns. They were found in the hole right here in the wall. Let's see what it looked like if they were found in there. Let's see if we can open that up over here. I don't know what it's going to do. The Hopi Indians believe it is the gateway to the afterlife in the Grand Canyon. Get this off of there, you. I got some threats that got blocked. Its sheer immensity and mystery has attracted more than 6 million visitors in 2016, named by the Hopi Indians. Mummies and artifacts in the Grand Canyon. The answer is pretty clear. These gold artifacts from the Kincaid Tunnel are on display in the Smithsonian Institute of Washington, D.C. from the Grand Canyon. The back two artifacts are for King Akhenaten and Queen Nefertiti. Look at that. The Grand Canyon. So it really would make sense that it was part of Africa. There's a theory that they renamed the places too. How could they find it there if you think about it? Because it's in another place. Wait a minute. I think I know how. Because according to one theory, you can fit all the countries inside Africa, the continent of Africa itself. All the countries that we have will fit into Africa. We did a video on it. Egyptian artifacts found in the Grand Canyon, Zoroaster Temple in the Grand Canyon. Jordan, who worked for the Smithsonian, described their experiences. In the Grand Canyon, over 100 feet from the entrance, is the Cross Hall, several hundred feet long, in which are found the idol or image of the people's god, sitting cross-legged with a lotus flower or lily in each hand. On April of 1909, the Arizona Gazette said this sensational article. It is the Grand Canyon's largest enigma. The cast of a face is an oriental, and the carving of this cavern, the ancestor and the children's names are on the artifact. The small gold artifact found in Kincaid's tunnel. Page right here, you can see it, but we can't see it. You got King Akhenaten and Queen Nefertiti. The idol resembles Buddha. The artifacts, let's see what this is. So you tell me, do the artifacts or the writing found on the Grand Canyon appear to be created by the Native Americans or by ancient Egyptians? Well, what if the Native Americans are the ancient Egyptians, and what if they just kind of migrated over here with it, and maybe that was the Indians, that the people came over and they got rid of all the tribes. Maybe that was what happened. They couldn't have nothing coming out about these Indian tribes, turned the tribes against one another, conquered them. Even though the many large or smaller images were found in the tunnel of the Grand Canyon, this artifact was an important discovery of the Smithsonian. The story goes with, ooh, what's that? That looks really nice. Egyptian artifacts, Grand Canyon, mystery, ancient civilization. Is this an artist's rendition of what it possibly looked like? And they destroyed any and everything. You think this stuff might have got destroyed in like a mud flood, or did they just take their lasers from their ships above and just like poof, did a demolition, just blew everything up? They could have. They really could have. This is what they looked like in the Grand Canyon. There's been a lot of other things. Thomas Kincaid. You know, one time when we lived in Hawaii, I went trash picking. They threw out good stuff. And I found a Thomas Kincaid picture. So I threw it out. And you know what it said? Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. That was the words that was written on it. It was I still have it. Thomas Kincaid. Okay, what's this? Artifacts found in the Grand Canyon. Well, look at that. That looks really interesting too. That looks like the Eye of Horus right there. You saw clouds that looked like the face of a lion and a mouth and a whole head. A wolf face. You stared back at it. Well, I'm sure you did. That stuff would be up there. Really, if you think about it, it would be right up there. See some of this other stuff. This is the cover-up of the Smithsonian of ancient Egyptians in the Grand Canyon, and they like took the giants' bones and they just dumped them in the ocean too, so nobody would know about the giants. I don't know if I'd want to go in these caves in the Grand Canyon. I really don't, because I don't know what kind of species might be down there in the caves. It might not be too. Looks like the water. Canyon is seeing evidence of ancient Egypt in the Grand Canyon. Sure they do. The Grand Canyon is kind of mysterious. It's I can't see what I got written down here. It's off limit areas. I guess you can paddle by boat, but you can't fly your drone over the Grand Canyon. The pyramids of the Grand Canyon is off limit. You all, do you live in the Grand Canyon? Do you live near the Grand Canyon? Are you seeing there's pyramids in the Grand Canyon like this? When the Smithsonian's discovered an ancient Egyptian colony, have you ever seen them in the Grand Canyon? The Grand Canyon is Egypt. It's Egypt. It's Africa. It's all of that. How do they keep everything so straight? How do they keep us from finding out about one another, the land stuff? And I'm not going to say much more. I'm not. But I'm really wondering if there are pyramids in the Grand Canyon. There's supposed to be pyramids everywhere. I was looking around the hills of Fort Knox and that area up there in Kentucky, see if I can find hills that look like they were pyramids. And they kind of thought, well, they could have been. Okay, well, let's look at these pictures. See what they say was a pyramid, and they think they knocked their heads off. The proof the Grand Canyon monuments are ancient pyramids. Well, they very well could be. Look at that. They're kind of stair-stepped. There would be a lot of pyramids around there if you look at the different levels, but they really could be ancient pyramids right here. Are the Grand Canyon monuments, except they just destroyed some of them. What's that? It's Egyptian statues found there. Well, they kind of look like trees that got cut down too. What if they are that? They cut the tops of the trees off. Big ancient forest. It could be anything, really. But I like the idea of pyramids. I do, since they found ancient artifacts and stuff like that. The Orion Zone. Well, we got the pyramids of the Grand Canyon is an off limit, and we got the Orion Zone. The maker of Orion. Mintaka, Alanatak, Arizona Star Correlation. I don't really know much about this stuff like this, but it looks kind of interesting. It does. Oh, right. What's that? It's off limits. Are there any more? I'm not going to go in there. What is that? That looked like a big serpent face. Looked like a dragon's face. Fontainebleau, Francia. You think they're ancient giants? You got the big turtle. Blurs the line between reality and fiction. No, I don't want to log in. Look like a lion. They could have turned everything into stone. They really could have. You can see these pictures. This is really. They really did. Rosie, honey, I hear you stretching your little toenails. Underwater museum. Gina, you are supposed to be talking. It's like an alien. You're supposed to be talking about the Grand Canyon. But there's these beings here engraved in rocks. I am talking about the Grand Canyon. I'm not going to... Okay. Is this what Wade was doing? And I got real sidetracked looking at the pyramids. Okay. Oh, so you think this was found in there too? An ancient thing. I'm sure if they said they found it in the Grand Canyon. It was ancient Egyptian artifacts found in here. I'd like, oh, they got some walls. You'll never get to see everything. Look at all the sites. The Temple of Osiris, the Confucius Temple, Temple of Ra, Dragon Head, Grandma Point, Tower of Set, Buddha Temple, Cheops Pyramid, Phantom, things like that, you all. These are more. Are there Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon? If they are, they destroyed them all, or they're off limit and you can't see them. There's bound to be. And what about all the Egyptian, like, stones found in these caves and stuff, too? Well, look at him. Look at this. Look like it's gold. Gold and stuff right there. I am going to go. It's something that you can look into, you all. Does the Grand Canyon lead to Africa? Well, it could lead to Africa. Let me do this. Can you fit all the countries into Africa? This is the true size of Africa. You can fit these countries in there. United States, China, India, Eastern Europe, France, Germany. We did a video on this. Isn't that interesting? What if the history is not the real history? It's quite possibly. It quite possibly isn't. There's so many theories out there, you all. And we could all have like a continent. Everything. There may not be no big divide like we see everywhere. It may be just great big gigantic masses and some water, bodies of water everywhere. It's wild. It is so wild. I am gonna go, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your comments, you all. You should look up on that yourself to see what else you can find. We did a big thing on here one time. We really did. Let me see if I can get over here. If I could get to my own channel. Gina, can you? I want to try to see if I can. See if I can find Africa. I know I got a Table Mountain, South Africa. I do. If I can get over here and try to search Africa and continents or countries. Wait, Africa and Egyptian. I just type in Egyptian. EGYPTIAN artifacts. I spelt it wrong. Okay, we found it. Yeah, we got this right here. So we got the Stargate. We got Roswell. The Azores underwater. Why did the United States build a pyramid without a cap? The Nephilim, Ezekiel's will. This didn't pull up very much, you all. It didn't. I'm going to go. I am. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, you all. And if your phone is too hot, if it's too hot in your house to charge your phone, do like Penny did. Penny opened up her freezer and she got a bag of frozen vegetables out. She laid her phone on the frozen vegetables and she was able to charge her phone, and her phone was no longer hot. You got to have workarounds if you need to charge your phone and your house is too hot and your phone is too hot to charge. Okay, you got to find the workarounds when it's hot. That's right, you can do it. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.